Let's use the StatCrunch normal calculator to solve this question. We're told the mean average high temperature in January in Oakland, California is 58 degrees Fahrenheit with a standard deviation of 3.6 degrees Fahrenheit. We have three parts to the question. The first part asks us how warm are the highest 25% of the days in January in Oakland. So we're going to head over to StatCrunch, make sure you're logged in, and click Open StatCrunch to open a blank spreadsheet and a new tab. We want to use the normal distribution, so we're going to go to Stat Calculators and scroll down and choose the normal calculator. And what pops up is the standard normal calculator. Notice I'm on standard here, and so I've got 0 here as my default mean, and then the default standard deviation is 1. We want to change these numbers to match the scenario in our weather question for January in Oakland. So we're going to go ahead and change the mean to be 58, and we'll change the standard deviation to be 3.6. The first question asks us about the highest 25% of days. So we want to come over here on the second row, and in the right box, we want to put in 0.25 for an area of 25%. And then we don't want the lower 25%, we want the upper 25%. So we choose the greater than or equal to inequality. And then notice the missing x value here has popped up. So what this is telling us and shading for us here is that temperatures 60.4 and above are in the top 25% of days in January in Oakland. Notice the default spacing here, StatCrunch just went ahead and spaced by 5s. If we'd like to see the 68, 95, 99.7 ticks, we can go ahead and click that. And if we want to make our calculator bigger so that it takes up our whole screen, you can stretch or go ahead and click this here to take up the whole screen. Let's go look at our second question. So our second question asks, what's the probability of observing a mean high temperature of 56 degrees or lower in January in Oakland? So they're not giving us the probability as in the first question. Now they're asking us to find the probability. So we head back into our normal calculator. The mean and the standard deviation are going to stay the same. Now we're looking for temperatures that are 56 degrees or lower. So in the x value, we're going to clear out the answer from the previous question and type 56, and notice that clears out the probability or area box over here. And we're looking for the lower temperatures 56 and lower. So we go ahead and select the less than or equal to inequality. And StatCrunch has auto-calculated for us that those temperatures 56 degrees and lower would be a probability of 0.2893 if we round it to 4 decimal places, or you could say 28.93%. And again, if you want the 68, 95, 99.7% ticks, go ahead and click this. They're here right now. When we click it off, see it goes back to spacing by 5s. So if you want to see those ticks, make sure this is highlighted. Our third question asks about what's the probability of observing a mean high temperature between 55 and 60 degrees in January in Oakland. So we come back to the normal calculator, and in the current setup, we can only enter one value and then pick higher or lower. So we want to enter a range of values, so we click between here. Now the default says those from -1 to 1, but that doesn't match our range. So going back to our question, we want to choose between 55 and 60 degrees. And so we can go ahead and put 55 in the lower box and 60 degrees in the upper box. Notice the area or probability box over here is blank. So when we hit compute, we see shaded in here the region between 55 and 60 degrees Fahrenheit, and we see that's a little more than 50%. So we'd say the probability is 0.5084. As you can see, we can use the StatCrunch normal calculator to find both the x values and the areas or probabilities. So go ahead and use this tool in completing your lab assignment.